And we welcome you back in here to the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino, our third of 5 matches here on our first day of our final NVA Cup event of the regular season. Ira Thrower alongside two-time All-American Matt Prosser. I'm sure you never get tired of hearing that. And Utah Stingers know a lot about All-Americans on their roster. This is a team that came in as probably the overall favorite to start the year. Didn't have a lot of success by their standards in Jersey, got taken to the limit in a number of matches. The Blaze, on the other hand, going in the opposite direction. Utah's coming in at 4-2 overall. The Blaze are 2-4, went winless in Jersey.
Yeah, uncharacteristically winless. Doesn't help their cause when you can't pull off a match win in a round-robin type of situation, when the wins and losses are imperative to advance to weekend number 4. But what is going to be interesting about this matchup today is that you'll see a couple of different looks from the Stingers, as Hamilton Day is getting the starting setter nod, and Leo Durkin is unfortunately not with the team this weekend. So that'll be a little bit different. And then along with number 14 in yellow, that's Lazaro Fernandez. This is his first weekend. Puerto Rican outside hitter, I believe. 14 in yellow. Meanwhile, for LA Blaze, their team will remain mostly the same, except one change already on the field. On the floor will be number 10 in red. That's Rafael Cruz. Outside hitter, appears to be about 6'1", but you see Pablo Guzman as well, the outside hitter. And what should be a very competitive game, as player coach setter Eddie Zhao is on the bench currently, as Marquise Buggs will take over the setting duties to start this match. But interesting looks here to see some new faces and probably some good high-level volleyball right now.
And of course, Utah playing without multiple other players in the lineup. Jake Langlois not part of the team today as well, but they will look to their deep bench for answers here against the Blazes. We are underway, and it is the Blaze that ignite first. Pablo Guzman, who wears number 8, puts in the kill. He will go back to serve, a 6'3" outside. And again, should mention liberos for both sides for the LA Blaze. Ricky Massanet out of Puerto Rico has played pretty consistently, through all of the events this year, as that is over on 1, and kept alive by the Utah libero Kai Duquem out of Ohio State. So it'd be interesting to see how both of those liberos are able to factor into this match.
Yeah, Massanet's done a great job for the Blaze. He's been a rock for them in the libero position all season long. Of course, the libero wearing the opposite colored jersey, and if you can't tell which one Massanet is, he's the smallest guy on the
Is that how that often is? It's crazy, though.
Sometimes. Most of the time, yes.
I've seen some Division I matches in the last couple of years where the libero is now actually bigger than some of the pin hitters, and it's just really interesting to see how the game continues to evolve.
I had a 6'9" libero that I played with at Long Beach State.
Wow.
Yeah.
6'9" libero.
Yep. It wasn't permanent. It was temporary, but he was 6'9", and he was an outside hitter before he played libero, believe it or not.
My son is a 6'4" middle in high school, and he can't pass to save his life, so he needs to take a look at that now and then. As that is fired off of Duquem. Nothing you can do about that one. It is put away, a monster swing for the LA Blaze as Nieves gets in on the action.
Kai Duquem in the right spot. That ball just bounces off his shoulder and goes out of bounds.
Sometimes it just doesn't matter, as the score is 3-1 in favor of the Blaze early on. Ira Thor alongside Matt Prosser will eventually be rejoined by Nick England after he decompresses from what was a surprise in our last match, with the Tornadoes picking up their first W of the season at the expense of arguably the best team in the league, and the Las Vegas Ramblers, who are going to go back to the drawing board after that result.
May take Nick more than a few minutes to decompress from that loss, so we'll give him his time, and we may see him later on in this match.
I hope he's able to give himself a beverage in between matches. That might make things a little bit better. That's a good pass off of a jump serve there from the Stingers, as that is rolled down the line, getting a piece of it. was the Blaze who disagree, but Jorge Mencia, first time we're saying his name, and he's able to get his first kill.
Jorge Mencia, the Puerto Rican opposite for the Utah Stingers, has been a mainstay for that squad. Always interesting to see how he starts the match, kind of get a bearing on how he's feeling physically, depending on how high he's jumping and how hard he's swinging at the ball.
Inovel Romero will serve, the Cuban who could actually be an X factor in this match. When he is on, he is really on, and he's on there as he deposits an ace.
We've seen this from Romero as well throughout the season. A strong jump server, one of the better servers for the Stingers, him along with Storm, Faugatu Tufunga. Strong jump serving team, squad from Utah.
I'm just going to go say Storm because I have probably said that 7 different ways, and I will get it eventually by the time we get to our last weekend of the year. As that is put down, a double block by the Stingers.
Mencia again, along with Metcalf that time, just putting up a nicely formed 2-man block.
Yeah, Corey Metcalf out of Utah Valley State getting his name called as the middle of the 6'5" product of Draper, Utah combines with Mencia. And the Stingers looking strong early on, down 3-1, have scored the last 4, and Romero is so good behind the service line again. And now with the pass off the net, cannot be saved. And Steven Morales gets credit with his first kill of the afternoon.
Steven Morales, one of the newer faces also for LA Blaze, wasn't in Atlantic City 2 weeks ago. So interesting to see what he can do contribution-wise for the LA Blaze.
Morales will serve. Goes after Duquem, which probably not the best idea, but that set is off the mark. And nothing that Utah can do, and we're even at 5.
Yeah, just a little misconnect there between Hamilton Day and Storm on the left side there. Timing-wise was off a little bit, but location, Hamilton's Day set was just a bit outside.
Steven Morales, if he's able to be productive here, it's going to give the Blaze an opportunity in a match that on paper you would think favors Utah heavily as they put another one away. Mencia's second kill.
Mencia off to a nice start. 2 kills, nice block. If you're on the Stingers team or on their side, that's a good sign for you guys.
Well, the Stingers and the Blaze are both on the American Conference side. We'll take a look at the standings during our first time out, but the Stingers are now tied in the loss column with Las Vegas after they lost that match to Dallas. Both teams have a chance to tie there if this certainly results in a Utah victory. The Ramblers are 5-2. The Stingers are 4-2. The Blaze are fighting for their playoff lives as they are 2-4 and find themselves 1 game behind in the standings to the Untouchables. Of course, that doesn't even include the points that we talk about. And you want to touch on that for the fans who are not familiar how the point structure works if you get to a 5th set.
Yeah, so the NBA utilizes obviously a win-loss record for the head-to-head battles, but we also use the FIVB scoring system in terms of if you win a match in 3 or 4 sets, you earn 3 points for your team that then become accumulated throughout the season. If you win a match in 5 games, that's a 1-point gain for your team. If you lose in 5, you also get 1 point. If you lose in 3 or 4, you get no points for your total team accumulation. So the point scoring for us will be used as a tiebreaker situation. Wins, losses are the first ranking system, and then we'll use those points as well. After this weekend is over, the top 4 teams from each conference will move on to weekend number 4, which will be our final event here in San Bernardino, a single elimination tournament bracket.
And of course, that is July 10th and 11th, the championship of the NVA this year. And you know, obviously, if you're a team and you're staring at those points this weekend, you certainly want to try to find a way to prevail in 4 or less sets. As the lead is 8-7 for Utah, and Storm Baungata Tafunga I'm getting better at it.
We'll talk more about the standings during our first timeout. But now that we have our rankings settled and win-loss point accumulations, we'll now see Storm jump serving.
They go outside and cross court put away. Pablo Guzman picks up his second kill.
Pablo Guzman, also from Puerto Rico, has been playing semi-professional beach volleyball for quite some time, representing Puerto Rico on the International FIVB Beach Volleyball Tour. Quality outside hitter, solid passer for the LA Blaze. A bit undersized by today's indoor game standards, but does a great job for his squad here.
So many of these guys do play year-round because they are playing on the beach circuit as well, as that is a little too wide by Romero. And I think Utah thought that one was in, as they're having an argument here.
I thought that I may have seen a touch. Since that happened right in front of us, I don't see any argument from LA Blaze. There's no counter talk about it.
Marcus Buggs, number 24. You see wagging his finger for the Blaze.
Romero can't believe that nobody saw that touch.
Romero continues to plead his case, Matt, but touching on the beach game and just how significant that is for these players as they continue to play professionally indoors and outside. Swinging away off the chest of the libero Duquem, and that allows Utah on the free ball after the ball is saved to put it away. Kill by Romero. Wow, what a sequence.
Great dig by Duquem. Nice heads-up play by Metcalf to keep the ball in the air so that his team could recycle it and get a chance to swing for another point.
I mean, I guess your chest counts as a platform, so whatever it takes to keep it alive. Probably not the way you draw it up, but it's effective in serving. Will be Lazaro Fernandez. And that is too long for LA. They want a touch, and they do win the argument to take the 10-9 lead.
Very adamant on that touch call. No argument either. I think that was mostly an overrule from the up ref, as the line judge didn't motion to a touch.
So Cruz, number 10, Rafael Cruz, gets credit for the kill. And a 1-point lead for LA. Big serve for the Blaze. Tipped over from the back row by Mencia. Chance for the Blaze from the back row. And firing wide was Guzman. And we're even at 10-all.
Haven't seen the Blaze set quick yet. They've got Pedro Nieves, he's 6'9" in the front row. Marquise, get your big guy the ball.
So serving will be the setter, Hamilton Day. In the middle, Day catches that one in the kisser. Big swing from LA. Perfectly run by the Blaze. Nieves with the kill, and Nieves 6'9" at Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Grandview University, where he played some collegiate volleyball. And he will serve. Goes deep corner and gets the ace. Storm couldn't handle it, and he gets victimized there as Nieves lands the ace, first one for LA.
Traditionally, Storm is one of the better passers for this Utah Stinger squad. That one pretty high and deep into the corner. Nieves has some movement on his jump float. That one just snuck through the hands of Storm's overhand pass attempt.
Well, even the greats will have a missed pass now and then. Won't see too many of those from Storm, as that is put away. Another one by Inovel Romero, who's been playing with a little bit more fire since he got the non-call a couple moments ago.
Yeah, nice response by Romero.
Sometimes that's what it takes to really ignite a player, when they get a call that they feel went against them, and they play with a little bit more chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, that's definitely the response that the Stingers want to see from Romero,
Maybe
as
it'll work
opposed
out
to the alternative, which is disappointment and frustration.
I was going to say, maybe it'll work out to their favor. That one call could ultimately have an impact on the match in a positive way, if that's what it takes to keep Romero's lights really fully charged.
Yep.
So he misses that serve. Steven Morales will go back, and it's a 13-11 lead for LA as we approach the midway point here in game number 1. That was left short. And I expected to be kind of tired at this point in the game, having just flown in yesterday from the Midwest where I'd spent a week, but I think there's really a difference between that 2-hour time difference being in the Central Time Zone for a whole week rather than flying in straight from the East Coast.
You've acclimated.
Acclimated. I've been in all 4 time zones in the last 10 days. I spent a little layover time in Utah, so I've never done that before. That's kind of fun. As Marcus Bugs on 2 puts it away, catches the Stingers by surprise for a 14th point. I can chalk that off my bucket list.
Yeah.
All 4 time zones in the same week.
There you go. Was that something you were trying to do?
Not at all.
Late bucket list add-on then.
Yeah, that was added on after I realized I was going to be in all 4. I missed Hawaii, though. Feel cheated myself. Storm leaves it short. And it's 15-12. So we'll see how the Stingers respond here as we are looking at a technical timeout coming up in a moment. Could be a chance for Utah to talk things over as well. And that is too long. Rafael Cruz misfiring.
Pretty good level of play so far. Blaze coming out with a nice start. Stingers. Another typical ho-hum, casual start.
They're just so talented, though, that they're able to find ways to answer. Roll shot covered there by Mencia, and then a block back by LA as they celebrate in the middle, 24-14. Rodriguez and
Hey, my name is Travis, and I'm the founder of RSA. Last year, we launched the Medic, which is a state-of-the-art percussive massager. It works by providing rapid, targeted pulses into your muscles, which relieves tension and increases blood flow. It is a great tool for athletes looking to get an edge in their training or in competition, but it's also great for everyday people who suffer from common issues such as stiff neck, lower back pain, and sore feet. What sets our device apart from others? For one, it's how insanely quiet it is. Second is the extended length handle, which allows you to more easily reach your back. And third, the swivel head, which allows for better ergonomics. We also include 6 different head attachments and a travel case with your purchase. We are so excited to have you try the Medic. We know you're gonna love it. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook at any time. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.
And we're back here in San Bernardino after our tactical timeout. Still a 16-13 lead for the LA Blaze, who, and what's been a bit of a surprise after our second match of the day. Well, our third match is kind of living up to a surprise, as that's our storyline today.
Look,
surprises.
no one wants to watch blowouts, right? Everyone wants to see good, high-level competitive volleyball. This is the 3rd match of the day. We've had 2 extremely high-level matches. Our first match went 5. Second matchup, the biggest upset of the season so far. So to see the Blaze right now coming out with a great start, we'll see Jonathan Rodriguez just got a nice block to go into that timeout. Let's see how he does with his jump serve here.
Well, who doesn't enjoy rooting for the underdog as well, as that's truly what the Blaze are.
Always.
Knowing that their postseason hopes really lie on finding a way to pull off this upset here in game number 1. They don't want to find themselves 2 losses behind the rest of the competition in their own division, their own conference. As Storm will serve, joust at the net. It's going to be sent over, free ball opportunity as Day puts it on the line. Chance for the Blaze to respond, and too high, but Massenet's there to cover. Utah off the hands kill for Romero.
Romero made sure that all the officials saw the touch on that one. Reconfirming.
So Storm will serve. Team down by 1. Bugs, quick hands. That's poked down the line. Storm with the dig. Free ball opportunity. And it won't matter. Bugs gets the kill anyway, but it won't count because a double contact on Utah. Don't see too many of those at this level, Matt, but Utah was kind of caught with a ping pong off the initial attack.
The rare double contact call on the setter these days does not happen very often.
Maybe you'll see one per match for both teams combined. Just players are just so precise here. As Storm out of the back row delivers.
Nice insistent play for the Stingers there. That's Storm's first kill out of the back row. Really a strong utility player, strong server, great passer, defending player as well. Good blocker, great offensive in the front row. Storm's an all-around player for the Stingers.
Yeah, there's really nothing he doesn't do well, and that's why he's such a dangerous weapon for this Stinger squad. That is put away by Morales, who picks up his second kill. I'm kind of disappointed looking down at my chalk tally here because, you know, nobody more with 3 kills here after the last match, where you see Rattray had about 25 kills for Vegas. You had Chapman with about 20 for the Tornadoes, and this is a little bit all-around play we're seeing here today. You don't have as many dominant players in these matches in our third match of the day, but what you do have is a pretty more well-balanced lineup, I think.
Yeah, again, we're seeing parity, right? 2 evenly established teams, talent-wise, physicality-wise. No huge standouts. A bunch of really good volleyball players, right? The Blaze. We're going to go over our standings here now that we're in our first actual team timeout. But the Blaze are currently at the bottom of their conference, so this is an important match for them. Okay, this is an in-conference match like you spoke about. The Blaze are 2-4. Playing the Stingers are 4-2. The Blaze, they need a win because they're 1 game behind the Chicago Untouchables, right? Who play later today as well. So the Tyrants, they're at 4-3. They're a little bit out of reach right now for the Blaze, at least for today, but throughout this weekend, if they can make up a spot or 2, it's going to really make a nice battle going into the rest of this weekend, which means that every match is going to be important for the LA Blaze this weekend.
The Tyrants already picking up a victory today as they are certainly making a late season run in the American Conference.
Yeah, those teams that are 5-2 and 4-3, they've played 7 matches, so they've already finished their matches today, leaving the Blaze, Untouchables, and the Stingers in the American Conference to play their 7th match so far.
After the timeout, it'll be Pablo Guzman serving. His team up 3. Day has to run that one down as Mencia swung away. They go outside, and finding a spot on the court is Rafael Cruz picking up his second kill.
Making a nice impact there, Cruz, number 10 for LA Blaze. Attacking the ball nicely on the outside. Strong serving efforts. So far, he's been a pretty seamless addition to his squad.
And that's left short. So the Ramblers, the Stingers, the Tyrants, all at the top of this American Conference, and that last playoff spot very well will come down between the Untouchables and the Blaze. And you know, Chicago, after starting the year 0-3, they will play in our nightcap tonight at 7 when they take on the OC Stunners, but certainly have changed their fortunes by going undefeated last event in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Yeah, they had a great weekend in Atlantic City, winning 3 matches. Really putting them right back into their control of their own destiny, if you will. But they are not comfortably sitting in 4th place by any means in their conference. So there's Pedro Nieves now, his jump float serve.
Day goes outside. Mencia is covered by Cruz. Chance for the Blaze from the back row, swinging away off the block was Guzman. Utah. Oh, and Romero just destroys it. 21-18 now, Utah trails. And Romero may need to be that sizzle they need today, because Storm's only got 1 kill thus far and really haven't seen anybody else get involved.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of middle activation offensively for the Stingers yet between Metcalf and Fernandez.
And haven't seen a kill out of the middle yet. Swinging away, that is run down by Storm. ended up being a perfect set. And that's sent over. And blocked down, covered up by the Blaze. Second chance here on Cruz. Can Storm come through? And he does, high off the hands. What was a broken play, Matt, ultimately resulted in the Stingers being able to persevere there and find an answer.
Well, Storm coming through big in transition. That's a great swing attack line. Back to the back corner, off the block. Gonna get a timeout here called by Coach Eddie Zhao of the LA Blaze. He wants to talk about it. He's got a 2-point lead. Each team has got one additional timeout remaining. But Ira, so far, I mean, good action here. Set match number 3 of our day here. For LA Blaze, what do you think so far about their efforts to this point in this match?
I think the LA Blaze have come out with one of these approaches where they know they have nothing to lose at this point. They're in the bottom of the standings. They're playing for survival. Those are always, to me, the most dangerous teams to play. Teams that know that there is nothing at stake after this weekend if they don't find an answer, and they just come out and play the sport. Just play volleyball. Rely on what's gotten you to this point to become a professional. And if you're the Blaze, that's the same approach I think that Dallas took in the last match. And sure enough, they pulled off the surprise. Maybe that's going to be the theme of this weekend. Don't look at the standings.
Well, this is a hugely important weekend for all the squads in terms of rankings and standings. So every match matters.
And that's a tough serve for Massenet to handle. The Blaze are going to have to run this down. It won't matter. It's our second double of the match. And as I said earlier, you rarely will see more than one per match combined between the two teams. We'll have 2 in the first set.
Yep. Well, when you have a non-setter setting, it does make it a little bit easier to call that when it's that bad. I just don't think the referee wants to see it that bad either. So it's got to be a standard.
That's what my normal set looks like.
And that's why you're here at the table with me.
Exactly. It's more comfortable here. That is blocked back, picked up by Massenet, tipped over by Cruz. Chance for the Stingers in transition. Mencia finds the back corner. Nothing that Guzman could do about that one as he lunged for it.
And we're tied, Ira, 21-21.
And the Stingers down 3 have found a way to claw back, and now they have a dangerous server, the ball in his hands, in Inovel Romero. Big serve off the rafters. Massenet stays with it, and they'll send it over. Free ball opportunity for the Stingers to take the lead. Storm rolls it, and that's covered by Bugs. Cross court, too long by Morales. And the Stingers, well, they are singing the Blaze right now. They have come up with a late match rally, and it'll be a timeout here for the LA Blaze to see if they can slow down a Utah squad that has, well, they've been tested here in the first set, Matt, and certainly found the answers, and they have a roster that has a lot of experienced collegiate players at the highest level that know how to respond when their backs are against the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a very experienced team in the Utah Stingers. They've been playing together for quite a long time. You've got a Division I men's volleyball coach there, part of BYU. So being behind by 2, 3, 4 points, that doesn't matter to the Stingers. They're a professional squad. They know how to handle themselves, and they've been able to fight back and take the lead back. Now up by 1. Serving, Inovel Romero.
So after the timeout, Utah, they keep the run going. They've scored 4 to the last 5, if my math is correct. Romero to serve. Another tough one. Massenet's going to have to push this close to the net. And did they get a touch on it? They do. That's a block for Utah as a combination of Metcalf and also Mencia in there, and it's a 2-point lead for the Stingers. Second time those two have teamed up, and we're going to see a substitution here. We're actually going to see a wholesale punch of substitutions as number 15, Joe Cuevas, will come in. And we're also going to see number 27, Charles Belvin, in for the Blaze. Correction, Cuevas did not come in. They made a change here. So Belvin's in for Rafael Cruz. That's our change. But Utah up 2. Still unable to get a good pass off the serves from Romero. Can Utah capitalize? Mencia over on 1. Day, back set. Mencia swinging away, too long. Utah with a golden opportunity there, couldn't come through.
Yeah, unfortunately that one doesn't work out. And Blaze will sub back out again, so it's a pseudo timeout there used by Eddie Zhao.
Well, Belvin, Hope International University product out of Lakewood, California, got on the court for a point here to maybe help his team settle down. And the ball in the hands of Steven Morales, trying to tie. Off the tape. In the middle, they feed the middle finally. Run down by the Blaze and sent over. They go back to the middle and take 2. Corey Metcalf puts it away. Well, the first time Metcalf swung away and the Blaze were able to defend, but not this. And Metcalf will drop back to serve on set point number 1. Deep float, and it's coming this way as the ball's in the hands of Matt Prosser. That's not where the ball should be. And the Utah Stingers, oh, there you see. Good job by you getting the ball back in. And for the Utah Stingers, they come back to win 25-22.
Sneaky comeback win.
Yeah, it looked like they were lethargic, I think is the best description early on. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was that second timeout where they realized, hey, our backs are against the wall here, that they were able to find some answers. I really like what I saw out of Inovel Romero. I think, especially with some pieces missing from this lineup, say, using a second string setter today with Durkin out of the lineup. There are so many people on this lineup that you could put the ball in the hands of, and to have somebody like Romero who just has so much energy and has so much firepower, and to me, he's one of those players that an entire team can rally behind.
Yeah, and the Stingers do, for sure. But to go back to your initial point about looking a little lethargic, right? They didn't fly through 4 time zones like you did yesterday, but we've seen this from a couple of the teams that they've all started a little bit slow. Every team so far today has had an abbreviated warm-up, right? Because we've been a little bit behind schedule. We've had some longer matches happen. It was really only about a 12-minute on-court warm-up for both of these teams. And I think with the Stingers, they're getting their legs under them a little bit slower than maybe the Blaze. But we saw that they can turn that around, relying on Romero. Mencia had a nice first set. Hamilton Day coming in, taking over the setting duties for Leo Durkin. And then Storm, not much of a factor. I expect to see him do more, carry a bigger load as this match goes on.
For sure.
And then for the Blaze, it's not that they came out slow. They came out good. They built a nice lead, but they couldn't finish. And so Greg Faulkner could possibly get some time in there on the court. We saw Charles Belvin. He's played for Blaze for a while now and was an impact player in weekend number 1. But and then possibly Eddie Zhao, the taller, number 16 there in red, the taller setter / coach, brings a little bit more of a stronger block through the front row, I think. So potentially, a couple of changes. When someone that we haven't talked about because he's not here is Travis O'Gorman. He's one of their key outside hitters for the Blaze, and that's definitely a piece that they're missing right now.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing to at the roster here as I'm looking at it. O'Gorman, even in defeat, as though the Blaze had a poor weekend in New Jersey, a poor showing, O'Gorman individually had a great effort, and
he did.
His absence on the court right now, and Faulkner not playing in the first set. Faulkner's one of those players who could be hit or miss, but when he's on, is very difficult to contain. And just those two players not out there on the court, it's going to be a tall test for the Blaze here now that Utah has kind of figured things out a little bit to be able to find an answer.
Well, again, to go back to the standings, this is a pretty important match for the LA Blaze. They are currently in 5th place in the American Conference. This win would bring them even with the Chicago Untouchables, and that would be something that would be very beneficial for them as this weekend progresses.
So we'll see if we get more out of Storm Fa'agata Tafunga, as I think I finally got his name down here in our second set. I expect that Hamilton Day is going to be getting more comfortable in the setting role. He didn't see a ton of time in that spot in the last weekend. Obviously, Leo Durkin, your number 1 setter and arguably the best setter in the entire league, or at least he's played that way where you can at least consider him in that conversation. So to have a different look out there, I think that's, when I said lethargic, I think that's also part of it. You know, you do obviously in practice work with all of your setters, so you do have some of that familiarity, but there's a difference between practice and actual showtime.
Absolutely. The bright lights, you know, present a little bit of a different environment, but you know, you put the work in practice so that the match is hopefully a little bit easier, right? But that's not always the case, so we'll see how this one unfolds.
The bright lights of the NVA Cup's third event of the year. Utah Stingers coached by Mike Daniel. Their owner is the former Olympian Russ Holmes, who is with us this weekend as well. And now the Utah Stingers certainly impressing here. We'll see if the LA Blaze can find an answer what changes they make here in game number 2. Ira Thor alongside two-time All-American Matt Prosser, and Nick England will be back with us at some point, as this is our third of 5 matches today, live from the Pierce Sports Center here in San Bernardino, California. And to get us going here, it's going to be number 8, Pablo Guzman, serving over on 1. In the middle! Well, that's one way to get started. Pedro Nieves smashes it away.
Nice quick attack by Pedro. Nice to see the LA Blaze establish their quick hitters early in this second set, as we didn't see a lot of action from either team's middle attack in game number 1.
So Guzman with the toss. Takes a little bit off of the second one. And Romero gets the side out. He continues to follow through. 5 kills now as Hamilton Day will drop back to serve. Hamilton Day out of Newport Beach, California, the 6'2" former BYU setter. In the middle, one more time. Keep feeding the Nieves as he delivers back-to-back blasts. And the lead is 2-1 early here for the Blaze, and Nieves will serve. Maybe that's really what they need to go to, is the outsides have been inconsistent for LA in this one. Maybe it is Nieves that is that answer they need without Travis O'Gorman available today. And there's a double block combo of Morales. And also in there was number 14, Jonathan Rodriguez, the second middle for the Blaze.
We've said Rodriguez's name a few times on a couple terminal blocks. 6'8", highly athletic jumper, middle blocker, spent some time with the Puerto Rican national team.
Terminal block sounds so final. That's another one for you. Back to back, the Blaze stuffing at the net.
Jonathan Rodriguez again, highly athletic. The kid can fly, right? He's about 6'8", strong, good jumper, gets high and over on the net, puts up a well-formed block. Back-to-back chances there.
And you can see his expertise seriously helping the Blaze here, as that one's into the net, but a good statement there early by the Blaze, able to keep Utah's attack from getting going after they had such a strong finish to game number 1. And it'll be Inovel Romero to serve. The lead is 4-2 for LA. Can they sustain it? Goes over on 1. Storms there. Day back to Mencia. That is run down by the Blaze, and they'll send this one over. One more time, Mencia, second time. Hands on it for LA. In the middle this time, and Metcalf delivers.
Nice little extended rally there from both teams. Some good transition attacks, and then finally with a quick set in the middle as that rally extended. It's nice to see a middle blocker be terminal on his attack in transition.
So Romero, who is a lot to handle when he's behind the service line, continues to prove it every time he swings. Another big toss from him using the tape, which I think actually slowed it down for Cruz. And then, oh, reach out and stuff someone. Corey Metcalf puts it away.
Corey Metcalf with a nice read. Stayed at home in the middle, saw the big attack coming from Guzman and jumps into his wrist away and gives him a quick stuff down.
Corey Metcalf is actually undersized compared to many of the middles in this event. And it doesn't matter, as his timing was absolutely perfect on that one. And Romero, the train ends there as he misses Wong. Metcalf, by the way, now has been involved in 3 blocks. And the Blaze back on top by 1 after Utah. Utah always seems to find an answer. But the little gift there is that one is left well short by Morales. As we will see a substitution. And Paul Clark will come in to serve for Metcalf. Clark, 6'1", outside hitter out of Centerville, Ohio. Played collegiately at Division III Power Southern Virginia. Good serve, gets the ace.
Paul Clark off of the bench and serves a spader for the ace. Wow. Nice jump serve, attacking the seams, cross court between Massenet and Guzman.
I thought you were supposed to be cold when you come off the bench.
I don't know.
Not Paul Clark.
Not Paul Clark.
See if he can do it again. Clark, another big toss. And he does! Clark, back-to-back aces. Welcome to the match.
Doubling down, another spader ace.
Well, when you get to play, make the most of it, and Paul Clark is certainly making a case to see more time behind the line. And I lose that one short, but that's all right, because he left his mark indelibly on this match. And he gets a high five from Coach Mike Daniel there, as Clark makes the use of his time to give Utah the lead. The Blaze will have Rafael Cruz serving, trying to even it back up. Romero with the pass. Storm, and wow, talk about being in the right place at the right time for Massenet. Running it down, and then he stopped like on a dime. Hamilton Day outside to Storm, and he tools the block as he does a little victory dance. Did a full victory circle there.
Uh-huh.
Big smile from him.
Some fortuitous bounces over there for LA Blaze, but Stingers end up with the point as Storm's able to terminate that transition attack.
Storm and Hamilton may be pros, but just watching the smiles, that falls in for an ace.
Well, at the end of the day, Ira, it's still just a game.
Still just a game. And to see the smiles, you know, I'll tell you what, it's been a hard year for a lot of people, so even at the professional level, to see the smiles kind of makes it all better.
Yeah.
As Mencia drops the ace, can he continue this run? No, not here is Jonathan Rodriguez. We talked about feeding the middles. It was Nieves earlier. Now Rodriguez involved with his first kill, and certainly he should be getting set more on my mind.
Yeah, it seems like the LA Blaze have definitely focused on running more offense through their middle, as both guys have been able to score some points through this second set.
Off the tape. Waiting for that was Romero. Mencia swings away. That's collected on the dig by Cruz, and then smash by Guzman. Pablo Guzman with a big jump there to get some energy behind the swing.
Well played defense by the Blaze. Good disciplined positioning. A nice transition attack by Guzman.
Rodriguez, another serve here. Good pass by Utah after the tough one, and Storm delivers. Second kill for Storm for Agata Tafunga. And the lead is 10-8. Storm off the tape. Run down by Bugs and then slipped through the block. Wow, Pablo Guzman made the most of that swing. Back-to-back kills as Guzman is starting to ignite a little bit. He had a slow start to the match, a bunch of unforced attack errors.
Yeah, I want to focus for a second on the three-man block system, right? If you're putting up a three-man block and you're a hitter hitting against the three-man block, where do you think the smaller blocker is going to be, Ira?
Would expect to be on the line.
On the line, exactly, and that's exactly what Guzman did. He attacked the smaller blocker, scored the point. Good answer.
I played game once or twice over the years. I never aimed line, though, because anytime I was up against a smaller attacker, it's like my golf shot. It was something mental where I would miss it, even though that just fundamentally should never miss that. And that unfortunately made me an easy read because Libero could just sit there cross court knowing that's where I was going. At this level, they're not going to make those mistakes. As well, that's a mistake. As Morales pushes it wide, and he had the whole line open. Just as if they're not, no, they can't hear what we're talking about anyway.
There is a factor of chess involved in volleyball, right? Knowing an opponent's technique and preferences, where he likes to hit the ball, tendencies.
As that is put down the line, and well, Guzman didn't swing there from the outside last time, but he does finish here for his 6th kill, and he'll go back to serve. So we'll see what chess pieces he has in mind. Good pass there by Utah, but unable to come through.
I'd like to see Romero try to swipe that off the block instead of tip down into it. Stay high with the hand, reach out, semi-joust, and then aim for the wall with it or aim for the referee, turn it sideways, try to wipe it off the block.
Now Rodriguez involved with another one, and now the LA Blaze have a chance to tie again. No, but they leave it short, and it's 13-11 Utah. You know, I haven't said Kai's name a lot, but Kai Duquem continues on some of these tough serves from LA to at least make that second touch by Bugs, by Hamilton Day, something to work with, which is so important. That is, speaking of Bugs, left short, and you can see the frustrated look on the face of Pedro Nieves, who it's his attack error, but it's because of the bad set.
Yeah, unfortunately that misconnect doesn't fall onto Bugs' stat line, it falls onto Pedro's. Not much to get it done to save that one.
The only thing you there potentially is tip it over, and you don't want to give a complete free ball, which is exactly what this is. And Metcalf misses. Had the free ball opportunity and couldn't pay it off.
Metcalf wants that one back for sure. Just went a little too hard on the wrist away attack.
And that's going to allow the Blaze to continue to hang around, now just down 2. Nieves, not sure who he's talking to, but deep jump float over to Storm. Right side, Romero off the block. Going to go over on one, and easy opportunity for Jonathan Rodriguez.
Yeah, Romero kicking himself after that free ball pass. Drifted over the net. I don't feel a breeze in here. There is a fan on in the corner that may have pushed that ball over the net, but Rodriguez was patiently waiting to attack that overpass.
And Rodriguez smart about it. Didn't try to crush it down. Just poked it to an open spot on the floor and gets his team within 1. Nieves to serve. Storm there for the pass. They go outside. Off the hands. Bugs there with the set. Rolled over by Cruz. Can Utah capitalize? Mencia swings away. Free ball opportunity. And that time Metcalf doesn't miss. Corey Metcalf picks up his 3rd kill. And Inovel Romero, who is trouble, back to serve. Right side, Romero digging up Morales. Romero from the back row puts it right down Main Street.
Romero with his own little scoop and deliver right there.
And that will take us to our 16-13.
We're back. Welcome back from that timeout. Both teams are coming back out onto the court after a quick little strategy session during our one and only technical timeout this weekend that we'll be utilizing at 16 points. Stingers currently up by 3 points here, midway through set number 2. Romero jump serving. Rodriguez goes up high to get that one just gently over the block of Mencia and down for a point.
Rodriguez picks up his 3rd kill. He continues to be that one factor that Utah has had a problem working against, but ball hasn't been in front of Rodriguez enough to really become a factor long-term in this match. And it's a 2-point lead for Utah. Out of the back row, Romero, and he catches the back line for another kill.
Romero with what I might want to call a lazy bick, sort of not really timed ideally. He was a little early, hesitated, maybe the set was a touch high, but I'm going to call that not quite out of system, but I like lazy bick, or slow bick. How about that?
Romero's slow bick is better than most human beings' super speedy bick, as that is put away. Timely kill by Cruz to keep his team alive. His 3rd of the match. Deficit still remains 2, and Cruz will go back to serve. I mean, Romero is just so talented that even when he looks like he's swinging at 75%, watch out. So 1-0 lead in the match as the Utah Stingers rally to win game number 1, 25-22. Off the tape, Duquesne with the pass, and that is blocked back. Storm is there to cover. They go outside to Storm. Utah doesn't have an answer for that one, as Pablo Guzman picks up his 7th kill, 5 of which I believe unofficially here in game number 2, and now a 1-point deficit for the Blaze. Going to carry Dave dangerously close to the net. Mencia does get a swing on it. And sliding it through the hands, Guzman with another. He continued to say his name because he is now their go-to force.
Guzman's slimy little line hit there wiggles through the block of Jorge Mencia, finds the floor. We're tied at 17s, and the Stingers want to talk about it and call their first timeout.
So Mike Daniel does call timeout. If you're Coach Daniel here and your team's seemingly been in control of the match, what's your word of advice would you give in this state?
Well, it's not that they need to do anything really different. They just got to tighten it up a little bit. Just a small little lapse in concentration like that block we just saw from Mencia. That one's got to get blocked back. If it rattles through your hands between your arms, then you're in the right spot. Positionally, you just technique-wise got to tighten it up a little bit.
There, on the other hand, you did see the LA Blaze player coach Edison Zhao having a conversation with his guys. Zhao is number 16. And in the red shirt, you see team owner Cynthia Buggs, also on the bench. And their squad has found a way to battle back and tie this at 17 all.
Respect to the battle back by the LA Blaze. I'd like to see, and I'm curious to see how they finish now that they've got it all the way back up to 17 all. Can they take it all the way home?
Rafael Cruz to serve here after the timeout. In the middle, Utah couldn't put it away, but they get a second chance here this time. Another block back, third swing, 3 times the charm, 2 swings from Mencia, and he's able to eventually finish it after Lazaro Fernandez got set to start this whole sequence off, and Utah back in the lead. Matt, exciting sequence there as you had bang bang action. Good floater by Utah, and Rodriguez blocked as Fernandez was waiting for it. Cross court, Duquem there off the swing from Guzman, and then lightning from the back row. Inovel Romero, too much.
Romero with a strong attack. Strong attack now, 19-17 to the Stingers.
Romero pointing to the scoreboard. He wants to point that. Patience, young fella. As Romero picked up unofficially his team high 7th kill of the match. I have Guzman for 8 for LA. And a lead is 19-17 for the Stingers as they're awaiting a serve from Jorge Mencia. And Utah's pleased, happy to see the scoreboard move. And serving will be Jorge Mencia, the 6'6" Puerto Rican. Buggs back set. Morales with the swing. Here's a chance for Utah. Mencia is stuffed. Rodriguez and also Guzman. That's the 5th block that Jonathan Rodriguez has been a part of. And I believe he is, because obviously at this level you don't get the block assist like you do in college. I think that Rodriguez has actually been involved with, or officially with, 4 of those.
Sounds about right. Mencia versus Rodriguez, a little Puerto Rico to Puerto Rico stuff down there. I'm sure they've been doing that since they were kids.
And you know there's pride there between those two.
Oh, yeah.
And swinging away and missing long. Charles Belvin just came back into the match after he served, and he misses on the attack attempt. And the lead is still 2 for Utah. Been consistently 2 since it was 17-17. Now Storm Fa'agatatafunga to serve. And Storm leaves it short. So chance for the Blaze to tie it late. And back to serve will be their setter, Marcus Buggs, at Westcliff University, 6'4". Compton, California is home. Buggs with the floater, pushes Day into the net. He has no choice but to poke it over. And too long for the Blaze. As the attack by Guzman, he thought he had a touch. Buggs wants a touch. Head coach Edison Zhao wants a touch, but there was no touch. Sometimes if you ask for it enough, maybe you start to believe it yourself. And serving will be Lazaro Fernandez. 2-point lead. Well, this time you don't need a touch as Pablo Guzman just finds a spot in the back corner for kill number 9. Once again, Utah's lead cut to 1. And that is too long by Pablo Guzman.
Guzman's serve has been a little bit of a point of contention for LA Blaze today so far.
So Hamilton Day will serve, and he leaves it short. And he's so frustrated with himself after that one. And it's 22-21. So Pedro Nieves trying to keep his team here in contention in our second set, I should say, after his team lost the first set by 3. Storm, perfect pass. They go in the middle. And it will find the court. Put away by Metcalf, his 4th kill. And now
critical time in this match for the LA Blaze. If they're able to bring that ball back, score a point in transition and tie it at 22-all, but instead the Blaze take a 2-point lead now with Romero serving. 23-21. LA Blaze have to manufacture a timeout and a chance to possibly even this match if they were able to steal this set win.
Well, this is just as good as a timeout because the Blaze making sure that the court is as dry as Death Valley. And Inovel Romero wisely rolls the ball back to the line judge so he doesn't have to think about it.
Great comparison, by the way.
Scary place.
To the local
took the family there a couple years ago, and that is long, and it was one of those spots I always wanted to visit, and I don't think I have a reason to go back, but maybe in the winter just to see the contrast. But I compare it to being in an oven with a hairdryer on.
I believe it.
You ever been out there?
I've never been to Death Valley. Don't plan on going anytime soon if you describe it like that.
There's not much there. And that, LA Blaze totally mistimed that one. Rafael Cruz with the violation is going to give Utah set point.
Bad timing for that one. Overly aggressive, unfortunately. As he blocked the set. Hamilton Day clearly had not broken the play, and he was a back row setter. So.
Great call there by Hughes. And for those who are at home not knowing the rotation, knowing that Day is in the back row makes it an easy decision for the officials. And the Blaze are going to talk this one over. Down 2, their backs firmly against the wall now, Matt.
Yeah, 24-22. Obviously, that was just an unfortunate sort of overly aggressive error. Have to know where the setter is at all times, whether he's front row or back row. Obviously, in that situation, Hamilton Day was still back row, which means you're not allowed to block the set.
So we'll see if the Stingers coming out of the timeout can put a close to this one.
Set point now for Corey Metcalf and the Utah Stingers. Trying to take a commanding 2-0 lead.
And serving is Metcalf for the set. They go to the back row. Big swing by Guzman. And that gives the LA Blaze some life.
Metcalf with a nice
kill.
scoop. Middle blocker playing defense. Got his arms out there. Unfortunately, that ball just falls into the referee's lap. Now Morales has a chance for his jump serve. Excuse me. Rafael Cruz serving for the Blaze. Still set point to the Stingers.
Trying to keep the Blaze alive. Utah, they close it here. Storm tools the block. And Utah perseveres. They win game number 2, 25-23. and the Stingers lead the match 2-0. We are going to take a break, get you going for game number 3. Will the Blaze have an answer, or will the Stingers close it out in 3? We'll be right back.
The flow state, the trailblazer, the closer, the do-it-all hero. All of us were born different. Some of us demand more than we were given. Some of us submerge ourselves in the wake, dive into the trenches, and fight with the ferocity of the rising storm. Some push themselves to attain more than those who came before. And those catalysts deserve and demand a form of fuel that will enable them to do so. Introducing Brain Fuel, a cerebral beverage. Be smarter, think faster, live beyond. The flow state, the trailblazer, the closer, the do-it-all hero. All of us were born different. Some of us demand more than we were given. Some of us submerge ourselves in the wake, dive into the trenches, and fight with the ferocity of the rising storm. Some push themselves to attain more than those who came before. And those catalysts deserve and demand a form of fuel that will enable them to do so. Introducing Brain Fuel, a cerebral beverage. Be smarter, think faster, live beyond.
Hi, I'm Casey Adams, President of Visible Supply Chain Management. E-commerce growth has exploded since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that creates unique shipping challenges for e-commerce companies.
First, we have a strong team of professionals with immense supply chain knowledge. This team builds solutions and strategies to help mitigate any challenges clients are facing. Second, we have fulfillment centers across the country, which gives us the flexibility to adapt and scale rapidly to customers' changing needs. Third, our clients have access to a wide range of shipping options through our network of trusted partners. And finally, our expanded portfolio of service offerings enables us to manage customers' supply chains on a global scale.
There are many solutions and strategies that can help you overcome holiday shipping challenges, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
And we're back here in San Bernardino, California. The Utah Stingers looking to put a 3-0 ribbon on this match. They've been challenging this one. The Blaze have certainly not backed down, but the Stingers at the very tail ends of these matches have found a way to live up to their name, to sting the Blaze.
Credit to the Blaze for putting up a solid fight so far, but more credit to the Stingers showing their experienced and depth of volleyball IQ to be able to weather the storm and fight off the Blaze at sort of those pivotal moments of the end of those first 2 sets.
Yeah, and you're looking at the numbers so far, and you mentioned weathering the storm. Storm hasn't been as much of a factor in this match for Utah as he was in the last event back in New Jersey 2 weeks ago over Memorial Day. But Inovel Romero has truly emerged in this one. We mentioned him quite a bit in the first set. Second set, maybe not as much of a factor, but his overall body work, his ability to ignite behind the service line and completely keep the LA Blaze out of system, that's, to me, the difference in this match. So it'll be Lazaro Fernandez to serve for Utah. And the Stingers close it out in 3. So that's our first kill here for Pedro Nieves, his 5th kill. And as the Blaze go back to serve, we're going to send it over. Actually, I take it back. The point went to the Stingers, so I was incorrect there. But we will send it over to our partner, Nick England, who has our first sideline report of the match. Nick?
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, and that leads in perfectly to my point there. In the first 2 sets so far, the LA Blaze outscored the Stingers 32-30 points. However, the most telling thing is that right now the Blaze have made 7 more errors across serving and attacking. So really right now it's all about if Blaze can mitigate errors going into this 3rd set and to fend off the Stingers. Obviously starting off the match with a hitting error in the middle with Nieves is not ideal, but that's going to be really the big difference maker right now is how much pressure can Blaze apply while mitigating errors. Back to you guys.
Thank you for that, Nick, as Corey Metcalf gets his 4th block of the match, a solo stuff. Give the Stingers an early 2-0 lead. The court is so dry, by the way.
Like Death Valley?
Like Death Valley, yeah. That's another one of our themes. How have you lived out here so long and never gone out there? You like golf? They have a Devil's Golf course.
No, thank you.
There's no golf on that
I do
course.
like golf, but I'm not going to go to Death Valley to play golf.
Oh, there's no golf there. It is flat as a... Ooh, as that is stuffed back. Romero heard us ringing his number as he puts that one down. Yeah, there's a part of land there that is flat for miles and probably be a great place to race a car if you have snow tires or something like that. But man, it is if you see that in person, you'll never go back. It's pretty scary.
I lived in a part of the country that is similar to living in an oven. I'm not going to name names or anything like that. Let's just say it was a state that started with the letter A and ended with the letter A. And it was very hot there, too. I like to go to the beach.
You're definitely not talking about Alaska.
No.
So that leaves us either Arizona or Alabama. So we'll let the viewers at home figure out the math on that one. Definitely not Arkansas. There's an S there. I know my states. Got this odd goal of trying to get to all 50 states before I turn 50. I'm at 41 after spending a week in Iowa. So life goals, life goals.
I like it.
As Mencia is blocked back as we get a combo there from Nieves and Bugs. Nieves gets most of the credit for that one.
Blaze showing a little life on the block and defense side, although Stingers probably would have liked to have had someone pick that ball up on a cover back there.
Lead is 4-1 for Utah. With a comfortable early lead, can they sustain it, leading 2-0? That will help as the lead goes to 5-1.
No. Thank you.
Sent over by Belvin. Chance here for Utah. And down the line, finding pay dirt, is Jorge Mencia with his 5th winner. Hamilton Day, deep jump float. Go in the middle to Mencia, who delivers. To Nieves, I should say, who delivers with his 5th kill now. 5 kills, 2nd on the team. Pablo Guzman continues to lead the way for the Blaze. Still dealt trail by 4 here in game number 3. As Romero changes direction on that one, Rodriguez able to cover. Big smash, but waiting for that one was Duquem. Romero off the block with the pass, and that is just sent over. Chance for the Blaze here to run something, and it is to Rodriguez. A little bit off balance, but he's able to get the result he wanted, his 4th kill. Even if LA is able to find a way to win this set, Matt, that's such a tall hill. You're going up against one of the better teams in the league and try to pull off a reverse sweep, easy for me to say. That's almost an impossible uphill battle.
Would definitely be a very tall mountain to climb. Definitely not impossible, but go with a somewhat unlikely based on the statistics.
Romero is able to get that kill off of the block for Inovel Romero. That is his 8th. And you look at the rest of the weekend. The LA Blaze tomorrow, 11:30 match, will take on the OC Stunners. Utah tomorrow will be in our nightcap, 7 o'clock against Southern Exposure. And then on Sunday, the LA Blaze will take on Southern Exposure at 4:30 p.m., while the Stingers and the Chicago Untouchables will play the 11:30 contest. As Storm is able to tip that one high through the block. Gets his 3rd winner.
Nice change of pace from Storm on that one. Attacking the line blocker once again and successful in that attempt.
So Inovel Romero already got an ace. He's been involved with 10 total points here in this contest between the blocking and serving game, and of course his 8 kills. And now, whoa, kept alive with 1 foot by Rodriguez, but they can't send it over. So I think you credit the ace there to Romero, as unable to run that one down was LA. That will be the 5th ace for Utah. Valiant effort there by LA. That one was going into the seats and into the camera. And the lead is 9-3, and Utah trying to run away with that. This one clips off the ceiling.
Oh.
And it's going to find the kill. Well, that was all made possible by Ricky Massanet, the libero, being able to read that ball carrying off of the I-beam supporting the ceiling. I do see one volleyball up there on the rafters that's wedged in nicely, but that's not from this match.
You think that ball's still in the rafters at Paris Casino and Resort?
Well, it's been 2 weeks, so I would hope that the maintenance crew has gone up there on a lift, and hopefully there's a child somewhere in New Jersey with a nice Mikasa volleyball to potentially be a future pro themselves, and all made possible by a pass off the roof. Good memory too by you. I'd forgotten about that. Hopefully the maintenance crew was watching and knows exactly where to look. I mean, heck, he might be there next year when we go back to New Jersey too.
But you know what? We'll probably never know.
We'll never know. LA says it never went over, and they were almost too late to set up the block, but they settled down their emotions, stopped arguing, and got to work. And a block there by Jonathan Rodriguez along with Rafael Cruz, but Jonathan Rodriguez, the 6'6" middle, picks up his 6th block of the match.
LA Blaze are a very emotional team, and when they think that the referee missed something, they're definitely not afraid to make sure he knows that they missed it.
LA is a very emotional town.
What makes you say that, Ira?
I've been there many times.
Hey, I love LA.
I love LA too. Jersey's not bad at either. Although I was in Minnesota yesterday, and I think Minnesota, I think of 20 degrees below zero and lots of snow, and it was 98 degrees. First time in the land of 10,000 lakes, and I think half of them evaporated during my trip.
Last time I was outside, it was about 85 degrees, so glad to be inside here and out of the heat of the Inland Empire part of Southern California.
The LA Blaze, they find themselves down 3, off the tape with a gift. Rafael Cruz with the ace.
Jorge Mencia is getting a little chuckle. You're supposed to go towards the ball, Jorge, not run away from it, especially after it's hit the top of the tape and trickles over.
Those are a little bit easier to read than just your normal one that will deflect off the tape, have it lose all momentum, and just fall to the floor. That one actually bounced high enough where they were able to get a read off of it and just misread it. Storm, that one's gonna carry him twice off the ceiling, and then Marcus Buggs, wow, put him in an arcade. Pinball wizard.
Fortuitous bounces off the rafters.
It's almost as if they've practiced that, which they have not.
I mean, Buggs didn't have to take a step. It came right into his basket and he was able to throw it down, although covered nicely off the head of Fernandez, but not returnable.
Big serve for LA, and then Romero, a bigger response.
Nice to see the stinger response there with an in-system play. Great pass from Romero, and then gets rewarded for it on that back row quick attack.
And dropping back to serve here will be Jorge Mencia. 11-9 lead. Stingers trying to wrap this up in 3. They're 4-2 on the year. Bugs was over on 2 a second time. This time Utah was waiting for it, but this one too long, and the point goes to LA. Now going back to serve here will be Jonathan Rodriguez. Trying to get a strong serve from their middle, but he gives it back. Back-to-back service errors for both squads. Stingers' lead is 2, and Storm Fa'agata Tafunga will serve. Out of Long Beach, California. Big serve for Storm. They go outside, swinging away, but missing just long was Pablo Guzman, trying to build upon his 10-kill resume. And now a 3-point lead for Utah. They've led as much as 4 here in this third set. Won game 1, 25-22, 25-23 in their second try. And this is coming my way. Ace for Storm. And I'm going to get up and get that ball. Now do my good deed for the moment. Oh, nobody wants it. All right, I'll just hold on to it. It's nice. Mikasa makes a great ball. Bugs goes to Morales, and he slots it just past the diving attempt of Duquem for the kill. It's his 11th of the match. So Marcus Bugs will serve. What does LA have left in the tank, Matt, here in the third set on the first day of the weekend?
Well, they've got to find something. They're starting to run out of time.
That doesn't help.
Certainly does not help the cause. One point from our first and only technical timeout here. LA Blaze do need to find some kind of sense of urgency here.
And Fernandez leaves that one short. So the lead is 15-12. And Pablo Guzman, who's probably been the most consistent, at least, offensive weapon for the Blaze. See what he can generate from behind the service line. Well, free ball is what he does generate. Chance for the Blaze, and it doesn't go over. Nieves with a costly attack error, and it's 16-12, and that will take us to our technical timeout here in game number 3 with Utah trying to sweep it.
Meet Tom. Tom is the shipping manager for an e-commerce company specializing in unique, high-end home furnishings. Because these aren't your typical everyday pieces, Tom's often biting his nails every time a shipment leaves the warehouse. His discerning customers will notice every ding, dent, or scratch, which is why Tom trusts one company, RPM Expedite's dedicated network. RPM specializes in hard-to-handle freight that needs a reliable, damage-free shipping approach. RPM boasts 99.3% damage-free delivery. RPM also makes it easy for Tom to customize his shipments with pricing options, and for transparency and peace of mind, Tom can access RPM's online portal for booking, tracing, and tracking shipments. And of course, if he ever has questions or needs assistance, Tom can always access RPM's round-the-clock customer service. Call RPM Expedite today for your customized, hard-to-handle shipping solution, or visit us online at www.rpmexpediteusa.com.
And we're back here after the technical timeout, and it's getting late here early for LA. Utah, we've talked quite a bit in this one about Romero. We talked about Storm. I think Hamilton Days did a great job replacing Leo Durkin today running the offense.
Yeah, he's done a pretty solid job, I think, too. He's run a balanced offense. He's gotten the middles involved. Obviously relied heavily on Storm and Inovel Romero there. They're two big guns, obviously, and then Mencia on the opposite position, but right there, number 11 in yellow. The quarterback, if you will, setting responsibilities falling on Hamilton Day today.
To me, it's always important to give the setter some love. I saw what you did there. Hamilton Day today. It's been a nice day for Day today, so that has tipped off the high hands. As Utah continues to roll here. But not there, as Nieves will drop back to serve. His team down by 3 after the misfire. And Nieves has had his own misfortune with 2 costly attack errors here in this set. Serves it deep. Day goes to Romero, who stuffs it between the block.
Nice attack line there by Romero.
Romero now in double figures in kills. That's 10. And the Utah lead swells to 4 at 17-13 as they look for their 5th win of the year to try to make a huge roadblock at the top of these standings. They go outside it, and a stuff for the Stingers, as that was made easy by Mencia, as Cruz actually had to stop mid-approach. 3rd block that Mencia has been involved with.
Mencia's block has been great today for the Stingers. Produced, like you said, 3 terminal blocks. Nice contribution from Mencia's block and defense.
Well, if the Stingers win this one, we're going to have a roadblock at the top of the American Conference between the Ramblers, the Stingers, and the Tyrants. And somehow that's going to have to get decided this weekend.
And unfortunately, it's going to put the Blaze in a very, very tough spot to try to work themselves out of that bottom spot in the conference and into weekend number 4.
The Untouchables will have a test themselves as they take on the OC Stunners in our last match of the day. In the middle, Metcalf swings away. Blaze were able to defend it, and then they have the answer as Rafael Cruz picks up his 4th kill.
Belvin's jump serve.
And a big serve handcuffs Utah, but they have an answer. Storm swings away. Covered by Utah, or correction, by LA, and then Bugs misses wide.
Nice attempt. I like that swing by Cruz. Ended up behind the referee stand. It's an odd spot to be playing volleyball from, but he swung away, had a good chance at it, just missed it wide.
So Paul Clark will come in here to serve. His team is 6 away from victory. So Clark, who had 2 aces his first time out, this one, a little too much mustard on that. Clark has a smile as he comes out of the match. His team very much still in control. Up 2-0 in 19-16 here. And the pressure on the Blaze now. Rafael Cruz will serve. And that is well short.
Mencia getting a little breather here in the back row as we see Henninger coming in to be a service substitute.
Haven't said his name in a while. Carson Henninger, 6'5" opposite. BYU product, of course, out of Magrath, Alberta, Canada. And that one lands in Nova Scotia.
Throwing in a little Canadian geography today to class. That's fun.
Hey, as the lead is 2017. So we'll see Joseph Cuevas, who we talked about as a possible sub earlier in the match. He will come in now to serve. Good floater from him. Forces Hamilton Day to make a tough set, and Storm delivers his 4th kill. Man, Hamilton Day, that was a little hot potato there, and still got a perfect set out of it, and the lead is 4.
Well, credit to Hamilton and Storm for being able to earn that side out. Not the prettiest of plays, but Pablo Guzman will be kicking himself for the rest of the day after not getting that ball.
Big serve from Utah as they try to close it out. Ooh, sneaky swing there by Belvin. And then off of the block, just too much. Inovel Romero, his 11th kill.
Romero just attacking the block of Bugs, the setter for LA Blaze, and chiseling him off of his outside arm and out of bounds for the 22nd point to the Stingers.
Storm will serve, and just long there as the Blaze continue to hang around, but they are 3 away from dropping this one in 3. Again, just a reminder, our next match, and that one will probably start at the pre-designated time of 4:30 Pacific, will be the Southern Exposure against Team Freedom. They go outside to Romero again, this time a little too much gas. And the lead cut to 3, 22-19. We're live here from the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino, California. Ira Thor alongside 2-time All-American Matt Prosser, and seeing a Utah Stinger squad looking red hot right now to open this weekend. Romero, drops the thunder.
Great attack by Romero there. Strong, just missed down the line on the one before, but Inovel does not tend to make compounding errors. If he misses the first one, you can almost guarantee that he'll score a point on the next attempt.
Hey, he's just so even keeled out there. Only shows emotion when the scoreboard's not updated fast enough. Other than that, it's pretty quiet. As Belvin puts it away.
You see Charles Belvin getting a nice lefty attack on the left side of the court. That's one of his first kills of the night, afternoon, excuse me. Sun's still out.
And still out in LA as Guzman will serve 23-20. Actually, the first time I've ever been in San Bernardino. I've been everywhere in the state except San Diego and San Bernardino, so I got to do something about my sands. As Storm puts that one away to give the Utah Stingers match point. That's his 5th kill, by the way, so quietly a very productive match for him.
You know, the Stingers are about to put 3 points in the bank and get another win in their overall win-loss category, although Hamilton misses that jump float serve, unfortunately.
Just an
but
overall.
It's not over until it's over.
It's not looking very good for the Blaze right now. The Stingers have certainly come out today, made a statement. And Nieves will serve deep float. Romero was waiting for it. They go outside. Oh, it's over as Carson Henninger, his first kill of the day, is the last swing of the day as the Stingers are victorious in 3 sets, 25-22, 25-23, and 25-21 as they improve to 5-2 on the year. Just an all-around excellent showing from Utah, showing that, yeah, they might have run to a few roadblocks in New Jersey over Memorial Day weekend, but they've ironed some of that out.
Yeah, really well-rounded, nice performance by the Utah Stingers, showing that they have depth in their roster. They've got their key players on the court that can play with whoever is available to set for them. You know, a strong showing by them. Unfortunately for LA Blaze, just come up short today. They're going to really need to regroup and focus and figure out what they can do on their own side to sort of right the ship throughout the rest of this weekend. They've got 2 more matches over the next 2 days to try to get back into that win-loss category and gain some points for their rankings through this weekend.
And they'll certainly be looking at that Chicago Untouchables match with a lot of attention. But before we talk about the rest of today, we're going to talk about the man of the match, and that is Hamilton Day, who stepped up as the setter, had a great effort. He's our man of the match, and Nick England's going to have a chance to chat with him now.
And I am here today with Mr. Hamilton Day, the man of the match. Congratulations. That was a huge win. And it's crazy. When you look at this, you know, normally we see Leo Durkin at the helm, a little bit different lineup in the middle. You see Jake Langlois. So this is a Stingers roster that's a lot of new faces. What is it your preparation like? When, you know, you're going to get the nod, you got to come into this. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's exactly what it comes down to, just preparation. In practice, we have a whole different lineup basically every day. And so it really trains us to adapt. And, I mean, the guys are just so good at figuring out what to do in certain situations. I mean, some of these guys we wouldn't even play with until it's tournament time. So we really need to, like, lean on each other and figure out what's going to happen. And, you know, our serve and passing is just so key. And our guys just really came together today, and that really helped.
I mean, it's spoken like a true setter. You were delivering a well-balanced offense across the board. You were running everyone. I was looking at the numbers there. Everyone's firing on all cylinders. What do you think is such an important part of that success, and what gives you that confidence coming in that, you know, it's just going to flow like it did?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it just comes down to passing, and we did a phenomenal job today. I was so proud of the guys for that. You know, when we can pass well, it just makes my job so much easier, and you know, vice versa, it makes our hitters' job so much easier. So again, once we were able to kind of establish that passing, we just gelled really, really well.
Yeah, and you guys are coming off a tough 1-2 weekend. I mean, obviously, everyone, the big talk was no Rusty Lavaya, no Jake Langlois, but here you guys are, but without both of them, but also even more shorthanded, coming back and getting the win. What does that look like for the rest of the weekend? What's the conversations like? Because you guys are, I mean, with the Ramblers taking a loss earlier today, you guys might have just taken first place overall. What's that conversation? Are you guys looking down the road? Is it a match at the time? What's the team talk like?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with our team is there's no shortage of confidence, and you know, everyone's willing to come in at a moment's notice and step up. Coming off of a win today without those guys, it just boosts our confidence, gives us that, you know, that energy that we need to continue into the rest of this weekend, and we're really excited to see where it takes us.
Well, certainly you should be. I mean, everyone hears the name. You hear Leo Durkin, but Hamilton Day, the star of the show right now. Definitely the bold captain running the ship. Love to see it. Great match from you. Back to you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Nick. As the Utah Stingers with the victory improved to 5-2 on the year. They'll be in action again tomorrow night. They'll have the late match against Southern Exposure. The Blaze, well, their backs are certainly against the wall for survival for the postseason as they dropped to 2-5. They'll play the 11:30 a.m. match tomorrow against the OC Stunners. Matt, your final thoughts on what you saw today, which was a decisive win for Utah?
Yeah, Utah Stingers look good. I think the biggest takeaway is that they have a well-rounded squad. They've got depth on their roster, and it doesn't matter who's on the court for them. They can still put a good quality team out there that can win some matches against anybody in this conference and this league.
Well, the Stingers are in a much more comfortable spot than they were 2 weeks ago as they get the 3-0 victory today over the LA Blaze. 25-22, 25-23, 25-21. Be back with us today at 4:30 p.m. for our 4th match of the afternoon, as it'll be Southern Exposure against a depleted Team Freedom squad, and we'll see how much of a storyline that evolves as that contest gets underway. For Nick England and Matt Prosser and our entire team, I'm Ira Thor. Thanks for watching this match here of the NVA Cup's 3rd event of the season. We'll be back 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Good action coming your way. Be well, everybody.